night of literary renditions and cultural expressions dubbed Bejina Reloaded, The Child Who Will Stay. Date 22nd November 2024. Venue La Palm Royal Beach Hotel. Time 6 p.m. Secure your seat with 100 Ghana cedis and experience this night of Ghanaian and African folklore embodied in poetry, dance, music, and your best imagination. Call 0244-924932 for tickets and all enquiries, or purchase your tickets on short code *365*88*539#. Sponsors: Ghana Export Promotion Authority.
Media partners: Channel 1 TV, Hits FM, Joy FM. Partner: Labari Beach Hotel.
This event is powered by Asase Inscription, Ghana's first literary coaching agency and cultural consultancy.
Step into a world where words take on life, where verse becomes spirit. Join us on Saturday, 16th November 2024 at the National Theatre of Ghana for the Matrix Verse Experience, Roots and Blossoms. An evening of poetic immersion led by the poetess Apioko and Kwampa, celebrating heritage, examining Ghana's social issues, interrogating trauma, and discovering hope. Through verse and the spirit of art, poetry, music, painting, photography, food art, plant art, and performance, we will connect with our roots and let new possibilities blossom. Dress for poetic ancestry and join us in honoring the power of heritage and beauty of human resilience. For ticket reservations and enquiries, call 027-143-0082. The Matrix Verse Experience 2024 is powered by the Breathing Art Studio and Lioness Communications in partnership with UNESCO and the National Theatre of Ghana. Media partners: Channel 1 TV and 97.3 CDFM. Partners: Ahaspora, Beyond the Return, the Ghana Garden and Flower Movement, Colorcast, Oxfam, the Aguma Tea Company, and Purple Leaf Soap House.
Welcome back to Breakfast Daily Weekend right here on Channel 1 TV. Just gone by Eno having a conversation with our guest artist for the day. Very powerful voice, very young, but very deep with what she does. Chayil is her name. But now we shift focus to a conversation that began last week with our real estate mogul. Oh, Charlie. No, Samira, you're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
You know, last week, like I was telling you, we were saying that, Charlie, the ceiling also, wait, what they wanted to hear, they didn't hear. So they asked me to ask all of it today.
I'm here for them.
I like that. Welcome once again.
Thank you.
Great. So just a recap of what we discussed last week.
Right.
The ceilings, the aesthetics appeal, the functionality bit of it, just something to recap that we continue from there.
Okay, like we said last week, adding or revamping your space adds value to your home. And real estate is something that costs everybody, and you'd want to always put it on that value that when you're reselling or you're living in it, it makes you feel comfortable or you can get value out of it. So it's very essential to always add value to your home, and ceiling is one of the options to look at.
Interesting. And I remember we talked about the different materials you could use for your ceiling, right? Where people opt for wood.
Absolutely.
Some opt
is
for
that glass I see behind us?
Yes.
That's real. And we even talked about this last week.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is what I was explaining, that if you have a very tight space, look at this space, it's barely 3 feet. You could literally do nothing in this space. But then the mirror gives it the illusion that it's so big.
Okay.
So then you might have a very small space. Nevertheless, you could add things like this, using your ceiling to reflect as a mirror, to reflect the space, to give it that space you may need.
Wow. So it's not necessarily out of just an aesthetics appeal. It's also the illusion bit of having a bigger space.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
I wonder how this works.
Land is expensive depending on which location you are getting it from.
Yeah.
So you would want to maximize the space you have in terms of your bedroom, living room, and all of that. People may want to host in the living room, so then they may want to tighten their bedrooms a bit. But you don't limit yourself to that tightness. You could add a few things that could make the room feel a bit bigger.
And using a mirror as a
Absolutely, I love it. You could look at yourself up there and then take it easy, take it easy.
All that comes into my mind is people are really kinky.
Take it easy.
But I'm looking at this room, and
Right.
so the mirror is there, and I'm wondering where do you put your stuff?
Right. So there are various functions. This bed could have lockers or pockets under.
Right.
So then you could pull out and then put your stuff in there.
Right. But how functional is this, mirror ceiling?
So this is a combination of both functionality and aesthetics.
Okay.
Because then you are making your ceiling work for the space. So you are trying to make your room a bit more spacious by adding the mirror. And now you're adding the aesthetic bits by making it beautiful by putting in the mirror or the glass up there. Yeah.
I recall last week you talked about how high ceilings, for example, like give off grandeur vibes, right?
Right.
Royal vibes,
Right.
freedom and all of that.
Right.
But this time, I just want to take it a notch higher and talk about the sustainability. Maybe towards then we'll
Right.
come to repair work and who is
Right.
qualified to fix your ceiling for you if there's a leak or something.
Right.
But let's talk about sustainability.
Right.
What would you say is the most appropriate material to use for your ceiling for, like, let's say a newly built home, average kind of house?
There are various materials that work for various places. You have wood. There are very sustainable wood options. You have fairface concrete. So concrete that looks very smooth and healthy, where when used, it absorbs the heat in the room. Then you have POP, and then you have plasterboard, where it can be done or finished properly. So what I'm trying to say is all materials work depending on what you are doing to your house. With an expert advice, we would see what you are combining in your space to be able to advise. Most times, wood will be the preferred because then it's a natural element, and there are sustainable wood options that you could use.
And what are the considerations for, like, your ceilings for, let's say, your different spaces, your workspace, your bedroom, even your office, right? Because the lighting all can be the same.
Absolutely.
So what should be the consideration? Should it be design? Should it be lighting? Should it be, like I said, even the creation of an illusion of space? What should be that really important consideration before someone decides to fix a particular type of roof design?
I'll start with space or size. Then where? If I say where, we are looking at the living room. The living room can be a bit more dramatic. It could have a lot of features, patterns, because then you are looking to host people in there.
Yeah.
Now, when you move to your bedrooms, it's a place to rest, like we always say. You may be a bit more calmer with that. Keep it very simple. When you go to your kitchen, it depends on what you have in your kitchen. Is your kitchen the traditional feel type of kitchen? Is it the open plan kind of kitchen? Is it the enclosed kind of kitchen? All of these things matter to define what you'd want to do with your ceiling so that it adds onto the space.
Let's talk about, adding, so ceilings add value to your home. I think I've heard you mention that. How?
Okay, so every part of your house makes your home the value you put it out there. So as a real estate expert, we sell houses. We look for houses to rent out for our tenants. When you move into the house, there are certain things you have to look out to see whether this property meets the proposed price that is being indicated. Now, you move into the house and you have a ceiling that is probably not looking the best way it should. You have it dripping, water dripping all over it there. You have your wood you don't use the proper wood to do that. You have your POP that are not properly put in place. Obviously, your rental value will definitely go down. Or even if you are looking to sell it, like move into your room, you have a very beautiful ceiling. you have a very well-built house. This adds value to your house. You can name a price which would allow your clients to be able to buy that. So this I'm saying is that adding value to your home, doing this renovation adds value to your home. Hence, you get the right return on investment you've invested into the property. Yes.
Speaking of you know, ceilings, how sustainable are, you know, each of the things that we've mentioned, mirrors, wood, POP? Because I've been to spaces where a part of the POP, there's a leak, right, and you know, you can see the water stains. So how sustainable are each of the materials used?
In this rainy season, you got to put mirror there, some thunder it's always.
You need the right handyman to do this for you, because then it's not just about how it's looking, the aesthetic feel. No, it's also about who installed it, the experts who put it together. So you could have the right materials, but then you may have the wrong person putting it together for you. And that's where you see the marks, the water lines in your POPs, and you have to cut out, redo it, and finish it again. Now, the ceiling is between the space you are in and then the roof. The roof receives a lot of things, including rain, wind, even thunder when the building shakes. Now, if you don't have the right handyman to fix it properly to withstand all of this challenges, then you would see the effect of that in your ceiling.
Well, you know, I wanted to ask about who then the right handyman is. You know, is it like some mason or some laborer, or you need some certified ceiling fixing consultant, or should just come to Samira?
Well, yes, you could come to me. Nevertheless, there are very good handymen on the market who are
like
able
masons, or like there are some
there are
other
people who are qualified to
do it.
Yes, they install ceiling. They are ceiling installers.
That's
their job. But
wow.
Then, okay, on our market here, we have people multitasking. People doing 2 or 3 different taxes. But there are people who are specialized at what they do. Why not reach out to them and let them focus on it and give you the value for it? Because it's expensive. Wow. And you need the value for the money you're putting in.
And if they don't find any of such persons on the market, then they can reach out to you.
Oh yes, absolutely. And even if they find, reaching out allows us to make sure that whatever design, whatever material, whatever feature you are putting in works with your space. You are looking to add value to your home and to your space. So the right expertise could do it in terms of the handyman, but then it takes somebody with the eye to look at it, to recommend and say that, okay, this works or not.
Last week, Eno taught me that the chandelier is not only the one that is dropped, because I saw like some fluorescent bulb that was hanging,
right?
But apparently it wasn't chandelier. Chandelier has to be more elaborate.
Well, there are various options of chandelier. It could be, like I said, it could drip, it could fall, it could roll all to the bottom. There are very high ceilings where you could have the chandelier taking even about 1/3 of the space in the corner.
The bulb, the normal bulb you use, if it's just hanging or dripping like you say, it's not a chandelier.
No, I would not classify that as a chandelier.
Don't shout, but it's fine. Interesting. So then my final question to you would be like deciding what to have in your ceiling, right? Because I get people say now there's this whole thing about smart spaces, which you've talked about before.
Yeah.
So like they'll say something, hey Siri, then their ceiling is talking.
Yes.
They've installed certain things, right?
Yes.
So maybe just briefly on it, whether it's an aesthetics over functionality thing, or it's just, you know, for the vibe. I don't know, but I get a lot of people do that.
It's both, and I think it's a good option on the market now, where you are able to control your lights, your, let's say, even your electricity, your curtains, and everything in your space on one stop area. So that's on your smartphone. You hit on curtains open and it's open, light on and it's on, curtains closed and it's closed. It adds on to the space. Real estate, like I say, is expensive. You need to add value to make it work.
But there's something for everyone.
Absolutely. There's a budget that works for everyone, and you just have to do it over a period.
Is that your tagline? Is that your tagline or something?
There is really something for everyone.
Oh, I don't know, but like, we could go on and on and on, but I think it's concise and straight to the point.
We can delve into the smart features of the home in our next, yes.
Definitely, I think it's a good thing to do. But for those who ask, I've got people texting me asking for your number and stuff like that. I refer them to your LinkedIn.
Right.
So maybe you should just tell them where they can find you. So,
Right. They could find me on LinkedIn, Samira Saraji, or they could reach out to me on 0245 147 558.
Wow. And to be clear, do you build for people?
Absolutely,
So
yes,
if I
I
bring
do.
you some $100,000 in my account and I say, sort me out,
It's quite easy. We could do this.
land
for you.
and all of those things.
Absolutely. Land,
Charlie,
finished
you're a
homes.
big
everything.
woman.
Big woman.
Let's have a conversation.
You're a major woman.
We'll have a conversation on the side.
There's
So, Ruth,
something
thank
for
you
everyone.
so much. As usual, there's something for everyone. And you always hear them from Samira right here on Breakfast Daily on Channel 1 TV. We'll be right back with sports.
They are the trailblazers, the pioneers, the unsung heroines who break barriers and set new standards.
Hello there, welcome to The Woman in You with me, Zoe Abubeidoado. Now, this is a show that celebrates the extraordinary resilience, strength, and leadership of women everywhere.
From the pioneers in enterprise, politics, and health, their stories are our stories.
I was very satisfied with doing something very little. But when my mother introduced the eggs and I started, it kept me so busy that I had to be there in the morning, afternoon, and evening.
I had been playing around with the different facets of it, and I realized, listen, I'm really onto something. I decided to formalize it, and I formalized it probably after, just navigating the space and doing different things and trying my hand at different things probably played around with it for like a good 5 years before I formalized it.
Be inspired, be empowered, be the woman you were born to be.
Join me, Zoe Abubeidoado, every week on Channel 1 TV as we celebrate these women who inspire, empower, and lead by example. It's time to celebrate the woman in you.
The Woman in You with Zoe airs Sundays at 6 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV.
Welcome back to Breakfast Daily Weekend. For now, we delve straight to sports. A very disappointing and heartbreaking performance from the Black Stars yesterday, and for the first time in 20 years.
Are you really disappointed though?
Yeah, because why can't you qualify for it? Like,
But
why are
weren't
you last in
expecting
the
it.
group of Angola, Sudan, and Niger?
It was
Sudan
coming,
and Niger
wasn't
for
it?
me.
It was coming. It was coming. I mean, we went to the AFCON. We exited at the group stage in Côte d'Ivoire. Prior to that, we had gone into competitions and not been able to qualify out of the group stage again. And we were just on the retrogression because we had no plan. Look, when CK Akuna was sacked, I listened to Randy Abe, an executive council member of the Ghana Football Association, an executive committee member of the Ghana Football Association, talk about they saying they had wanted a top coach, as in the ESCO of the Ghana Football Association had wanted a top coach. Now, the question was, can the government pay that top coach they were looking for? They said when they did their scan, they chanced on Harvey Renard to be our coach. But he was then with Saudi Arabia, taking $80,000 a month. But the FA then said they were willing to go into negotiations to try and run around the figure a bit. Then the guy's commitment to Saudi Arabia, he had then wanted to take them to the World Cup in 2022. So we did not get Hervé Renard. It was coming because of how we planned what we have now. Now, in my the team is already in Ghana. I know we'll get into that and what have you. But the problem has been there. The main problem with our Black Stars is not only at the doorsteps of the Ghana Football Association. It's not only at the doorsteps of the players themselves who are playing. It's not again at the doorsteps of Ghanaians, for example. That people say Ghanaians talk a lot and they go and bring this coach and they are trying to criticize the players a lot. That's not the problem. The problem is with the appointment. Otto Addo is the highest paid Black Stars coach
in recent history.
Yeah, 50,000. We don't pay anybody 50,000 US dollars.
Yeah, 50,000.
Where does the team
to spend? We have that to spend, and we are spending on the wrong person.
He's
let the whole
country down.
Country down.
I think it starts with Keto Kriku.